what's going on around us.
Redeem the time, because the days are evil.
The Bible has not changed.
Boldly proclaim the restoration and preservation of Christian values in America.
Satan has brainwashed a whole nation.
As goes the church, so goes the nation.
Nobody's convicted of anything anymore.
And now, here's Last Call with your host, B.J. Edwards.
Morning, morning, morning. Hope you're all doing well. And Satan is definitely on the prowl. Great show for you.
Roaring lion.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Got a couple great guests this morning. You're about to listen to 2 hours of opinion and entertainment supplied by Last Call Radio. We're not doctors, lawyers, politicians, professional journalists, nor do either of us hold a doctorate degree in anything. Not that that would make any difference. Our opinion, of course.
Oh, we have a doctor on board today.
Yeah, we do. We do. I have to cross that out for this morning. We only ask that you as an individual and or corporately not take our statements or those that we voice from others personal, nor do we recommend that you act on them as if they are facts, although they might very well be just that, facts. Again, our opinion. You're not required to listen to, act on, or repeat anything that you hear today. That any information or opinion we present is meant for the good of the order and by no means intended to harm or threaten anyone. That's for our friends at YouTube. Crazy, crazy times, folks. Crazy, crazy times. I had some headlines here. This is just, we still need to work on that. I think that echo, Mr. Anderson. I'm hearing a little bit of it. New York has declared war on the Amish community. 3 Amish schools have been fined over $150,000. As the 25th anniversary, this is amazing. It's amazing. I mean, this really shows you where we are as a nation. New York, 9/11, remember that? The Muslim invasion. As the 25th anniversary of 9/11 approaches, Catholic lead asked Mandani to skip ceremony. Wow. Florida pastor accused of having sex with 14-year-old. The Independent U.S. Miss North Carolina, USA, strip of a title as pageant bosses condemn racism, homophobia, and transphobia. Name calling. Trump signs new orders to restrict birthright citizenship despite Supreme Court ruling. By the way, the Supreme Court issues an opinion. It's not law, it's an opinion. Just an FYI for you all. And of course, we have the communism. I was reading Bill Federer's book, The Real History from Plato Present. And there's a quote in there. Fifth column, not there. It's over here. Churchill, October 22nd, 1945. The inherent vice of capitalism is the unequal sharing of blessings. The inherent virtues of socialism is the equal sharing of miseries. Get the rich, right? Capitalism creates. Communism consumes. Young communist tells Nick Shirley she'd rather her rapist walk free than keep prisoners. Keep them in prison. Abdul El Sayed wins Democratic nomination for U.S. Senate in Michigan. I can remember back in the 60s, the Russians are coming, the Russians are coming. That was a communist, folks. All 5 Democratic committee members refused to attend hearing on Muslim Brotherhood. Bill Maher continues to warn of dangers of Democrat embrace of socialism. We need to stop using that term socialism, folks, and call it what it is, communism. You know, gay, homophobes. Folks, first of all, we need to stop using the word socialist. It's a camouflage term that disguises communism and Islam They work together, and they do have a historical relationship. Communism is the invader. Islam is the occupier. We are being occupied.
And we better stop using democracy and call ourselves a republic.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of feedback from, I think it's coming from your end there somewhere, DJ.
Okay. I don't know how to quite kill that. I know where that'll help. Does it?
No.
Don't know.
It's like you have an open mic somewhere other than the one you use.
Does that help? Maybe? Nope. I hope this is not coming through to the other folks. COVID lockdowns give America a glimpse of socialism. What could possibly go wrong? Scientists use AI to design new viruses. Scientists use AI to design new viruses. Senate panel to vote on contempt resolution on Fauci. Fauci et al. Named in letters by virus law group to all 50 states demanding hospital murder criminal prosecutions. I'm having difficulty here getting my media assets up. There it is. At least I think so. Anyway, welcome to Last Call. As usual, we have technical difficulties, as everybody else does. Got a couple of great guests this morning. COVID really opened up our eyes to the medical system in general and to what's going on in our state, Washington, D.C. They use that to control the people. They use that to control the people. There's no justification for taking an individual's freedom in the guise of public safety. Mrs. BJ and I had a discussion about AI and flock cameras and what could happen. First of all, you're going to get that, well, what about the missing 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old? And thanks to flock, thanks to surveillance, we should keep it. It doesn't make any difference how much we see, as long as everybody is safe, especially those young children.
When everybody thinks they're safe, nobody is.
Yeah, I just muted myself, Mr. Anderson. It doesn't seem to help.
Well, you're not muted on the...
Well, no.
Yeah, I don't know where it's coming from.
Well, we'll keep plugging away. We're going to get Emma on here shortly. As a matter of fact, let's take a break. I'm going to spend a little extra time with Emma this morning because she has a very interesting story. And there's two issues we're going to discuss this morning. One is the medical system, and number two, men. Can't live with them, can't live without them. Amen. Amen. That's A and then M-E. Let's take a break, Mr. Anderson, before I embarrass myself any further. PJ Edwards Long, Mr. Anderson, this is your last call. One of the strangest things about modern America is watching people exhaust themselves trying to out-argue the laws of nature and nature's God.
Last Call with BJ Edwards. Real talk about real life.
Help wanted. Technical assistance. Last call. We're having some from now. Why don't you go ahead and bring Victoria on? Emma, Victoria. Emma Victoria Johnson. Johnson, welcome to Last Call. We're having fun this morning, Emma. We are having fun this morning.
I can't
Can you
hear
hear
you
us?
either. Can you?
You can't. You can't
You've
hear
gone
me?
out and in and out of sound.
Oh, can you hear me now? Wow, wow, wow.
I could hear you, but not now.
Mr. Anderson, can you try to talk?
Hello? Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I know. Gonna be difficult to conduct an interview. Should I go back out and back in, Mr. Anderson?
You can hear me, right?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Kevin?
Oh my.
Yeah, Kevin, I'm gonna go back out, and I don't know whether it's on Emma's end or my end. Ca- Go ahead and ask Emma if she can hear you.
Can you hear me?
She can't. I think
What
it's on
is
her
going
end.
on?
I think it's on Emma's end.
No, it's not.
Well, she should be able to hear you, right?
I would think. What changed?
I don't know. Can you
Maybe
hear
James Bond maybe James Bond knows the answer.
I can't tell her. Norm, maybe she can hear you. See if Emma can hear you.
Hello, Emma. I'm Norm. Can you hear me? No, she can't hear me either, Jim.
Yeah.
You do.
Have you been playing with the switchboard?
Uh-uh. Well, I think it might be on Emma's end if she can go back in, come back out, but I don't know whether.
I can hear Norm. I
can
can
hear
hear
Emma
Emma.
now.
I can hear BJ. But Emma can't hear any of us. That I don't understand. It has to be something in the settings in her computer.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, the echo's gone.
No, it's not.
Oh, what is on my computer?
She's gonna go. She's gonna go out and go back in.
Let's start over.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
It's good to see everybody. Paul and Betty and James Bond was here. There he is.
1, 2, 3, 5, 6.
Can we hear you, James?
James.
No.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
That's not
Okay.
James.
That's not James Bond. That's James Blake.
yeah. Emma,
Yeah,
go back
I
in.
hear a bad echo though.
Yeah, there is an echo.
Emma, can you hear now?
I can hear you now, yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's get started then. We could be interrupted again. Emma Victoria Johnson, you when your troubles occurred, were you in the United States or were you in Australia?
Now she's frozen.
I can see you guys fine and hear everything.
Okay.
Not for you though.
No, we can hear you. Emma's coming from Australia. I imagine that may be part of the problem.
I can't hear you again.
Well,
Yeah.
Emma, do you have my phone number?
Do you want me to try and log back in and out again?
Sure.
You said you were having computer issues?
Upstairs, yeah. I didn't know. It may have come down here. Go ahead and add her to the stage. See what happens. Emma, can you hear me now?
Hello. I can hear you, yes.
And you can hear me?
I can hear you as I could hear you the whole time. I just couldn't hear I could hear slightly this side, but I couldn't hear the other side. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we're fine.
Yes.
Perfect. We're in.
Emma Victoria Johnson. Now, what? You're from Australia, correct?
Correct. But I'm from England but live in Australia.
Oh, for heaven's sakes! For heaven's sakes! So you have a story to tell, and it has to do with our medical system. We got a two-parter here: the medical system and men in general. Uh, why don't we talk about the medical issues first, and then we'll get into the discussion of men in general.
Of course.
So when did you have your medical issue, and what was it?
I got diagnosed last March 2025 with stage 4 breast cancer here in Australia. And they gave me 3 months to live without tablets or 18 months to live with tablets. They offered me no chemo, no radiation, and no surgery, and told me that I was too far gone. Um, yeah, so not much hope here. And I decided to decline the treatment here in Australia. And I looked for an alternative cure, which is where I found Oasis of Hope. But I think for the medical system, nowadays I feel like the government makes so much money off chemo and radiation. And these 2 tablets that they offered me were very expensive for the government to give to patients, which, the big pharmaceuticals made the money from it. So I just feel like, the medical system has failed people for a long time, and chemo itself hasn't been updated for 17 years. So I took a different approach and tried to save my own life. And here I am today.
How did you find Oasis of Hope?
I actually went searching online. I did actually find a different clinic to start with, but I had a very good friend of mine that recommended Oasis of Hope because they're not really advertised much online. I didn't find them when I was searching for them, so they were recommended to me. I took a gamble, got on the plane, and honestly, within the first 2 days of arriving at the clinic, I just knew they were going to save my life. They gave me hope. They gave me a plan. They didn't look at me as a number or, another patient on a board. They looked at me as a person and a human, and they spiritually give you the confidence in yourself to believe in yourself to be able to fight cancer. So I owe my life to Oasis, and I'm really glad that I found them. And I do believe that I was meant to find them. And on that journey and on that path, I've brought 42 people along with me now over the last year, and they're all surviving and thriving, and all of us are almost cancer free, which is fantastic. So I'm so glad that I didn't take Australia's 2 pills and die. And I'm so glad that I believed in another way to beat cancer.
That's absolutely amazing. Oasis of Hope, and that's in where's that at in Mexico?
It's in Tijuana. And I know
Tijuana.
that, listen, when I first told my older sister, hey, I'm going to Tijuana to fight cancer, she thought I was absolutely crazy. It sounds crazy, but they're just off the border. Why are they in Mexico? Because governments don't allow this sort of treatment in it's not allowed in Europe, it's not allowed in the United States, it's not allowed here in Australia, because there is another way to beat cancer and the government don't make any money from it. So it's barred from most countries.
which is amazing, amazing. And you're not a singular event. There's other folks that have experienced the same thing you have. Yet,
Absolutely.
yet it doesn't
Look,
get out. It doesn't get out.
sorry. Sorry,
It does
it
not
doesn't
get
get
out.
at. I know. Well, you know what the thing about Oasis, and this is why I've been so vocal about it. Um, they're a family-run business. The doctors, the whole family works there. The Dr. Contreras, his dad opened it. It's very much a very family orientated clinic. I feel like there are other clinics out there, that do promote themselves very highly in marketing. I don't necessarily think those clinics do work because they, offer a green juice or, walking on grass or, vitamin C therapy only. Whereas Dr. Contreras, he actually does have, the cancer killing vaccines and builds the immune system up and treats the whole patient rather than, selling this sort of non clinic that doesn't work. So, and I'm obviously sat here today as a true testimony to them. And yeah, like I said, there's not just me. There's 82% of women that go with breast cancer do succeed and do get cancer free from the clinic.
Amazing. We have Dr. Paul Goslin on with us. Dr. Paul, your thoughts so far?
Well, I mean, when COVID finally hit, I was treating cancer on a regular basis. And it's IV, vitamin C, Laetrile, certainly the Warburg diet. And we kind of mix it with conventional stuff. But once they find out you're doing that, they come after you.
Who's they?
Well, the power, the medical boards, just like they took my license away for COVID. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it works. But there's so much you can do. Everybody, doctors aren't trained on what cancer is. We know that cancer doesn't like oxygen, it does like carbohydrates, and it likes an acid environment. And those are things that are very easy to treat. And we had great success until, of course, I was shot in the streets. And all my patients that would find something else. But yeah, I wouldn't ignore those clinics in Tijuana. I spent quite a bit of time down there in the Navy. But yeah, there's a lot. You just have to be aware that once the doctor says you're something stupid like you're not going to survive, you need to kick him to the curb or let me do it. Because I don't know a single that I respect would ever fail. In fact, they send it right to me and we start going on both ends. It just is what it is. You just had a bad doctorate. My God. Imagine. You're 40 years old, you're beautiful, and he's going to say, you're not going to live very long. What
And not accepting that and taking the challenge, which people probably can't imagine what you went through. Number one, getting that diagnosis and knowing that your life is going to end. Two choices. No, I'm not going to accept that. Or, okay, I'll just take your medication and then we'll just get along with, whatever's going to happen there. I think some of the things that Dr. Paul mentioned, you might associate with, right?
Absolutely. Everything that he said, like, it is down to the environment of the body, diet, how we, like, the vitamin C does work against cancer done properly. COVID, the COVID injections, I believe, definitely switched off a lot of people's immune systems. Yeah, it's and I think there's like a new turbo boost of cancer in younger people at the moment. It's like, I go to the clinic, I used to think cancer was an old, in older people. And nowadays I just see it in young, fit, healthy people. And why is that?
It's a good question.
I don't know if you can hear me. The echo's real bad.
I don't think it's coming through on the broadcast. Norman, any comments?
Sure. I'm a big believer that there are a lot of alternatives. I have a friend that had prostate cancer about 5 years ago, and he did a lot of research and found a very, very unconventional method, and he treated it. I had a nephew, or have a nephew that was, I think he was 59 at the time, and he had some health problems. Didn't go to the doctor. When he finally did, he had stage 4 pancreatic cancer.
Oh boy!
And they treated it and basically said, you've got a few months. He was living out of the area. He sold his business, sold his home, came here to die. And I knew the Lord was leading me to get my nephew together with this gentleman. And I invited him fishing. That's what I do. And he shared with my nephew about the treatment. My nephew got on it. That was 4 or 5 years ago. He's healthy as a horse. His tumors are shrinking, and the method. I'm going to say that he probably spent $400 or $500 treating himself over a period of time, and he still uses this method to keep everything at bay. So there's so much money in cancer treatment and all this. It's unreal. And I mean, I've lost total confidence in the medical profession over the last few years. It's sad.
If we cured cancer, would America go into a depression?
Probably.
Seriously, monetary.
Probably.
Or any medical. I mean, that's a big one, boy. That's a good base. Keep you busy for the rest of your life.
There was a lady doctor. Her husband had Alzheimer's, and she came up with a very simple treatment. She found out they were going to have a Alzheimer's convention, so she asked to speak, and she starts sharing this, and they come and pick her off of the stage, would not let her continue. They followed her around, intimidated her to the point that she was just scared for her life. Sad.
Mr. Anderson, could you take us to a break, please? Hello.
I think he's taking a nap.
Keeping you informed. This is Last Call with BJ Edwards.
Okay.
I did want to mention something.
We are having all kinds of issues this morning. Second guest didn't get the link, so I'm going to have to hop on my computer and get that to her. Just absolutely amazing. Well, this is not surprising, because what we're presenting this morning is what people need to hear. They need to understand that there are alternatives out there, and they're good alternatives. And if you get stuck into the system, I mean, you have.
Well, the other thing is prevention, right?
Yeah.
So what is Emma doing to prevent? I hope you're not getting mammograms.
No.
Okay, so this fact that people need to know. We have this thing called thermography, and it doesn't make cancer worse. So the idea is if you're susceptible to cancer, they make you do mammographies every 6 months at a very early age. And of course you'll develop cancer because that's what cancer is. It loves radiation. So that, and maybe Laetrile and a good solid diet, and like you said, staying away from the fear is your best bet. Find a doctor you can work with that doesn't treat you as a number, and has a little bit compassion. Maybe sometimes that's a woman. I don't know. I'm a fairly compassionate guy, but it's always gotten me in trouble. It sounds like your boyfriend couldn't handle the stress.
I can't hear.
Oh.
I've got no, I can't hear anything unless, can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
I can't hear anything.
Wow, what's going on here? That's the devil.
Okay.
How about now? Did we lose everything, Mr. Anderson?
This is awful. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes.
Okay. I'm going to put something up on the screen so you can have something to talk about. It has to do with, you'll recognize it. Everything's running very slow. It's like Saturday morning traffic jam.
Maybe it's our conversation and they're like, no one's allowed to hear it.
Dr. Paul was starting to talk about your ex and the problems that he may have had with your diagnosis, and that
Okay.
he bailed on you, I guess. Which
Yes. So
I don't
yeah.
personally. I don't relate to that. You know, like I
I
told.
yeah, sorry.
Well, my wife is in last stages of heart disease, and we're fighting to keep her with us, and
I'm
you know
sorry to hear that.
I'm with her all the way, and I can't understand why people would bail. And Norm can share some things too, because he was in a long haul with his wife who recently passed.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand this what men what men are like these days. I'm
Mm-hmm.
appalled at it. But
I just think they're not made how they used to be. Maybe, the younger generation, and like I'm not dissing men or disliking men at all. I've obviously just, chosen the wrong one in the past. And yeah, basically he couldn't stick around and be there for me and said that he just couldn't go down the path with me. And we were together for 7 years. And obviously, the studies do show that men do walk away more likely than women. And why is that? I understand it is a hard, it does sound like a scary, hard journey. But the one thing that I am grateful for is I'm glad that he did walk in the end because it made me stronger. and it made me fight for my life a lot harder because I knew I had to do this without, without him by my side, and God was with me. So I think God removed him for a reason. And I think whoever's meant to be in your life, stays, and who's not meant to be somehow gets removed.
Yes, yeah. Well, faith is the number one factor, isn't it? And you had faith to step out and travel far away from home and go to a strange place, and you found the help you needed. I'm glad he returned. You had two children, right?
So he had two children from his ex-marriage, and they lived with us 7 on, 7 off. So they were like two stepchildren to me. And 7 years with two young kids, you kind of become sort of, a parent figure to them. It was funny. I did actually bump into one of them a couple of months ago at a soccer game, and he said, Dad said that he left because you were going to die. And I was like, and he said, I can't. It was really lovely to see him and gave me a big hug, and was pretty shocked to see me still alive, to be honest. But yeah, really sad that the children, I don't see them anymore. I wish them all well, but again, God removes things that aren't meant to be in your life. Maybe if Matt had stayed and I was with him and the kids still, maybe I wouldn't have put myself first, and maybe I wouldn't be alive today. You just don't know, do you? But I'm grateful, I'm grateful now for the life that I've got and that I'm alive, and I've forgiven Matt for leaving. At the time, obviously, I was absolutely devastated. But he gave me the strength to fight, and like I said, I just don't think they make men nowadays like they used to. Like my dad would never have left my mom. You're together, you're forever, you don't get divorced. I just think younger generations have changed nowadays. I just think it's a different world.
It is. It is a different world, and our values have changed, and we've become
Mm-hmm.
more of a me, myself, and I kind of society.
Mm-hmm.
And it, and being that way, you don't realize how much you destroy or hurt other people.
Mm-hmm. Who's Paul? Paul said, "Get a dog." I've got a dog.
I'm back, folks. I apologize. And we're not getting echo. I just checked that as well. Hopefully, we have a guest for the second hour. So I missed a good conversation. So I
You
just
did.
I go away again.
you, you just went off for a little mini holiday and came back.
Yeah. I needed a break. I really needed a break. Been a long night.
It's one of those things where the host leaves and says, "Well, just talk among yourselves. I'll be back."
Yeah. I hope you did well. Emma, what? I hope I'm not being redundant here. What was your situation when you got the diagnosis? What were you doing at that point in time? Where was your life?
So I had a business, a very successful business of 9 years. Obviously lived with my partner at the time with two children. Had a quite busy social life and lots of friends, and life was good. Didn't think I was ill, was quite fit, worked hard, normal life like most people, until the diagnosis happened, and then my world completely changed.
Okay. And we're going to get into a little bit of that in terms of how it changed. You can't hear me now? Oh, for heaven's
I
sake.
can't hear you again.
All right. She can't hear me, Mr. Anderson.
I've got you again.
You got me again? Okay, well, good. I'm having a lot of fun here this morning. I can't tell you how exciting it is to be a host.
It is one of those days.
With one oar. I keep going in circles.
You can have me on the show whenever you wish. I'll come back whenever you want. We'll do take two.
I appreciate that. Well, I think we've covered a lot of good ground. And I'm glad Dr. Paul could show up today. So I want to cover the second item that needs to be covered. You said you were in a relationship, and what happened with that relationship? Once you got the diagnosis, so walk us through that.
So got the diagnosis. 7 days later, he decided to leave and told me that he couldn't do this. And basically went ahead and did it on my own.
Wow. Wow.
At the time, I thought my world was ending, but now I look back, I realize he wasn't strong enough for the path.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a good recognition. Um, what do you think was the biggest problem with him leaving?
I honestly think selfishness. Couldn't handle the next couple of months what was going to happen. Is she going to be sick? Am I going to have to look after her?
Mm-hmm.
Is she going to die? Well, we thought, well, I wasn't meant to die. I no longer served him. How's he going to deal with his kids? I just think it was just easier to walk away for him.
I'm going to bring Norm in. Norm does counseling, and he had a recent situation with his wife. And maybe you want to share some of that, Norm. And listen, for the record, men are not very good caretakers. We're not built for that. We're just not built for that. And when you have something like what you have, I'm not excusing. Okay, I'm not excusing.
No.
Men in general are not very good at this sort of thing. And am I speaking the truth here, Norm?
Well, yes and no. I have a saying that a man do what a man got to do. Kim came home from the hospital after surgery that she'd been infected and had 2 holes in her belly that I had to put gauze in 3 or 4 times a day to soak up infection, and I had to put on rubber gloves and deal with it, and I just had to do it. But I can't tell you how blessed that I have been the last 2. She was in bed for 2 years. And, I had to do everything. I had to learn to do laundry and all sorts of things. I was already a pretty decent cook, but, and I've been confined. I had hoped, when I retired, I loved to fish. I planned to travel, and, I couldn't do that. But God has blessed me in so many other ways that is just unreal. And, my wife sometimes would say, I'm such a burden to you. And I said, no, you're not. It's a real opportunity to serve. Jesus said, I did not come here to be served. I came to serve others. And that's my calling. That's your calling, is to serve others and put yourself aside. And again, God just has his way of blessing, and giving you a peace and giving you strength and giving you whatever that you need to walk through this. And, I guess I would say I probably wouldn't change anything in the past. I mean, I'd love to have her back, but she had suffered a long time and she was ready to go be with the Lord. So,
tough times. I can reflect back on my life, and those times that you curse are the times that end up being blessings to you. You find out things about yourself. You have qualities that you didn't really appreciate until something like that came along, and it helps you understand other people too. It's not just about you; it's about relating to other people, and having had that pain. You can have a good deal of empathy that is earned, if you will. But again, I look back on that, and I'm grateful. I wish those things wouldn't have happened, but I can be grateful and say, well, had it not been for this, I wouldn't be aware of that. And it just opens up doors that are unimaginable for folks. So you didn't have a choice. You had to go through it, Emma. You had to go through it. The gentleman that was with you didn't, or he didn't think he had to. Let's put it that way. But I think you missed an opportunity. Go ahead, please.
I do. I do actually feel sorry for him now, because I just don't know how he's going to live with himself. I think he just thought I'd die and that'd be it. And I guess now I'm here to haunt him a little bit, almost cancer free. And he's probably like, oh God, she's still here. But, it's hard. We live in the same sort of village, and he's now dating one of my ex-best friends, and I don't think many people like him over here anymore. So I think he's made some very bad decisions.
He cannot be at peace with himself.
He cannot what, sorry?
Be at peace with himself.
No. I don't think so. And I just think, there was no signs of our relationship ending. It wasn't, like we were having trouble or we were going to split up. It was literally the diagnosis that made him run. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like we were kind of on a breakup and then I've got sick. He just did. I wouldn't serve him anymore, so he decided to leave.
Well, I know that, I don't know you, but I know that you're a lot stronger now than you were.
Oh, I am a completely different person. It's like I've been reborn again.
Right.
And I thank him. I thank him for making me into who I am today. I've become stronger. I'm a warrior. I can go out and do it on my own. I've met so many beautiful people at the clinic. If I'd have still been in that relationship, maybe I wouldn't be who I am today.
Yeah.
And I think God's helped me.
Yeah. Well, that takes us back to Romans 8:28. All things work for good for those who love the Lord and called according to His purpose. God doesn't create bad things, but He takes and uses those bad things, to strengthen us and to encourage us and for His glory too. So,
I believe that.
you bet.
Amen.
God bless you.
Amen.
I think Dr. Paul wants to have a word or two. Go ahead, Dr. Paul.
I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure she was using thermal imaging. Maybe she's not doing any more radiation, like X-rays. That's some of the biggest lies in medicine.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of money to be made. But don't give up on doctors. They're not all bad.
Oh,
and I like this
I
guy
know
in
that.
Mexico.
What was that, Dr. Paul?
But, there's nobody that hates doctors more than I do. Because of what they did from the very beginning. But I don't have any regrets. I did my own hospice patients. I didn't give them off. That was an honor to take care of people. Wow. And I've seen a lot of miracles in my life. But it's like I said, get a dog.
Thank you, Dr. Paul. Emma, this is Do Radio. What would you like to have our audience, number one, learn from this jigsaw puzzle we put together today, everything coming in and out? But what do you want the folks that are listening today, what would you like to, what's the biggest message that you want to send to them?
My biggest message would be that cancer is not a death sentence. And if you seek alternative help, you can cure your body yourself with other medicines other than chemo, radiation, surgery. And anyone out there that gets their heart broken and the partner leaves, just know that God's removed them for a reason.
Ooh, good advice. Good advice. Is there anything we can do to help you personally, or the hope, oasis of hope?
Just give us a shout out. That's all.
Okay. Appreciate that. Norm, any closing comments?
Well, I just I feel for your story in a sense, but I know again you're so much stronger, and your faith is increased, and you're a witness to a lot of people. There's a lot of people watching you and watching how you're reacting to things, and how you give credit to God in this, and God's going to use your story to help a lot of people.
I think so too.
You bet.
I definitely think this path has been put in front of me to help other people.
Emma, are you working with or for Oasis of Hope?
I've become an ambassador for them. That only happened this year. So once I'm cancer free, I did tell them I'm gonna start working in the clinic. Not sure what my job will be, but once I'm cancer free, I'm getting a job.
Are you gonna move to Mexico or?
Oh, I think I'd move I'd do San Diego and travel. It's 20 minutes, but I have got a plan.
Okay, good. I was stationed at Fort Bliss, Texas, which is right across the border from Tijuana.
From Tijuana.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Tijuana's
Juarez,
beautiful.
actually. Juarez. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
I said Tijuana's beautiful, but I'm a very big city girl, so I'd love to, live in San Diego, travel to the clinic and help people if I can. But first of all, I have to cure myself before I do any jobs.
Amen. I appreciate your patience with us today.
Not a problem. I've been echoing in and out.
Yeah, I know. I think we all have experienced a little bit of that. But anyway, thank you very much. Anything else? Any contact information you want to share, or anything else?
Just if anyone's out there wants to give me a follow on Instagram, Emma Victoria _J, and please have me back on the show anytime.
Yeah, we got to get our act together before we do that. But yes, there's oasisofhope.com, Emma _Victoria, Emma Victoria Johnson, and TikTok. All right. Thanks again for putting up with us this morning. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate your valor, if you will, in terms of what you did. You're fighting. You fight. You don't say, okay, I'm going to give in. Nope.
No.
I'm going to do it.
No one should give in. We've all got to put up a fight.
Amen. Emma.
Thank you for having me. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much for being here. Well, folks, what do you think? What do you think about Emma and what she's gone through, what she went through? James, you got anything to say? Can't see you.
Anybody?
Bring Doc back on.
Anybody?
There you go. Doc, do you have some comments?
No.
You had your mic on.
No, I had a.
Right.
It's hard for me to talk with all the echo.
Okay.
So when I say something and it gets back to me, it's
Got it.
Hey, can you hear me?
confusing.
Yeah. Thanks, Dr. Paul.
We're not supposed to talk like that.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I hope that more people will have the financial ability to do something like going to Tijuana. And I guess we need to. I need to know more about the cost of that, because I will definitely pass that along to people that I know who are dealing with cancer right now. And if it would help them, it would be a blessing.
Yeah, when you have a roof put on, I'm not downplaying the role of cancer, but if you're having some work done, it's always good to get a second opinion or a second estimate, as versus, well, you're going to die in 6 months. Sorry, I'd like to have a second opinion on that if you wouldn't mind. And that can sometimes work out pretty well. How things going in Springfield, by the way, James?
It's a little touchy right now with the whole TPS, and now they're gonna, some of them got to wear ankle monitors. Those who have court dates who are trying to stay in the country, and of course the left is having a problem with that. They're calling it open air concentration camp.
Yep.
Yeah. Of course, we're all Nazis because we think that's a good idea to have ankle monitors. Because how many people come to the country that got court dates and then never went to them? And then there's no way to track them down because they're anywhere they want to be in the country.
And they kind of lose the monitors.
Yeah, well, they don't have monitors when they come into the country during the Biden administration. They were just given a court date, and then 75% never showed up to the court date. So they're just out in the country anywhere they want to be. Here they have a 75-mile radius with that ankle monitor. It's not like they're in prison. So.
Get it. We'll get more detail. James is from Springfield, Ohio, and they have a Haitian community down there. What do you want to call them? Uninvited visitors? Well, uninvited by Springfield residents.
Exactly.
Invited by the U.S. government. Go ahead.
No, the citizens of Springfield was never asked, and it was just dumped on us, and it was a far larger number than they claimed that they were putting here. And with the corruption of our local leaders and even our judicial system here, it's just been a horrible place to be for a while.
I get it. We'll get back with you in more detail. Mr. Anderson, do we have a 2-minute warning today? And thank you, James. Appreciate all you're doing.
If you need another reason for why you should support local farms and start growing heirloom seeds, Kroger is introducing facial recognition cameras and digital price tags to its grocery stores. Kroger expanded the use of digital tags in coordination with the new Microsoft partnership that uses biometric cameras to track consumer shopping demographics and habits. In addition to violating your privacy, lawmakers have raised concerns that Kroger will use the digital tags to surge prices based on consumer demand and profiles. Kroger denies that it will use the technology to implement dynamic pricing and surges, but their track record wouldn't point to this being the case. Executive statements and internal documents from the FTC's investigation into Kroger reveals that they have already gouged prices above inflation levels. Kroger already operates over 2,700 grocery stores through 20 banners and would close to double that number if its Acme merger with Albertsons is approved. My recommendation is to stop supporting these stores, look for local food sources near you, and grow your own heirloom seeds. I built a free farm app with over 6,000 farms, ranches, and markets across the country and carry over 140 heirloom seed varieties.
I need to make every dollar count. That's why I used to shop at Kroger.
You've probably seen the TV ads or received the direct mail. The message is not vague, nor does it pull punches.
Quality keeps going down. It feels like Kroger's taking advantage of working families and moms like me.
We found a number of documented abuses and scandals where Kroger is maximizing its profits at the expense of American families.
Taylor Warren is the president of the nonprofit that's behind the ad campaign, the Center for Responsible Food Business. The group's biggest concern is what's known as dynamic pricing.
Kroger could change the price of a product in an instant without letting you know, based on temporary variables like time of day or extreme weather conditions. They could, in fact, price gouge customers and charge them the most they will tolerate paying without you even knowing.
Charging more for ice cream on a hot day or flu medicine during a local outbreak. AI may automatically raise prices using electronic price tags on shelves during high volume times or when inventory is low.
How about marketing acumen? How about supply and demand? How about being competitive in a very competitive marketplace?
Of course, those are all pieces of the puzzle, but none of that explains the decisions that Kroger has made year over year to squeeze Americans out of every last dollar.
Warren is referring to a letter U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren sent in 2024 demanding answers from Kroger executives about dynamic pricing. About testimony from a Kroger executive in a lawsuit that same year where he admitted increasing prices in areas of low competition.
Of course, Kroger's obligation is to its shareholders, their employees, and their long-term sustainability. So any modern technology that they can get their hands on to predict profits, stabilize cash flow, and shareholder payback, they're going to do it.
Retail grocery expert Joe Welch says he does not see Kroger as being unreasonable or different from many other retailers doing the same.
And I can tell you that the grocery industry is not producing record bottom lines. So an increase in margin is justified to accommodate these increased expenses.
Keeping you informed. This is Last Call with BJ Edwards.
Welcome to Last Call, Technical Difficulty Show. BJ Edwards along with Mr. Anderson. It's been quite an experience before. Our guests for the second hour tried to get in. I don't see where they are in now. No. While we're waiting, hopefully get her in. Rebecca Charles who's our guest for the second hour, and she's had an experience with the hospitals. Folks, in this nation, in nations in general, there are three key institutions: the church, the family, and the state. God, family, and country. And I noticed something, that there's a lot of division. I don't know whether you've noticed that or not. A lot of division in the church. I think there's something like 46,000 denomination dividers in the church. The family has become divided. We'll get to you in a moment, Rebecca. And the state. God, family, and country. There's division in all of them. And there's one thing missing in all that. And that's leadership. I'm not going to get into a great deal of that, but we do need good leaders. And if you use Bible example, we see how far out we are from good leadership. But we'll talk about that another time. I've got Rebecca. Why don't you bring Rebecca in, if you would, please?
Hi, good morning.
Rebecca.
Thank you so
Hi.
much.
Can you hear me okay, Rebecca?
Yes, I could hear you. Thank you.
That's a miracle. That's a miracle this morning. That really is. We've had some technical difficulty with our guest, our first guest, and we couldn't get you the link, so we finally had to text you the link. So welcome to Last Call. And your lawyer's not going to be able to make it today?
No, everyone is so overwhelmed with trying. We have a deadline. August 21st is a deposition. We have to submit all the experts on the 20th. We're going nonstop and trying to raise funds to pay for experts too. So it's a lot. All week. This is my third interview for the week too.
Oh, wow. Well. So go ahead and tell me what questions to ask you, because you already know, right?
No, you could go ahead.
You mentioned lawyers. What is your problem? What's the situation with you?
Well, in 2021, for your audience who don't know, my daughter had a cough and I took her in because of her cough. She already was sick. I treated her at home. She got better. The fever was gone. Everything was okay. And my neighbor, I know everyone in the neighborhood, and my daughter also knows everyone. She's special needs. She was injured at birth by the hospital system. And next time she went back into the hospital, they killed her in 2021 in 41 days. So there are no attorneys who wanted to take my case because the PrEP Act protected all these hospitals and doctors and nurses to give them full immunity. And 3 days before my statute expired, I decided I'm going to file my case myself because I don't want my daughter's life to just end right here because of a statute. So I filed my case in less than an hour before midnight, before the statute expired online. And I've been fighting ever since as a mom. And, they're tossing me back and forth in court because I don't know the law. I had to get a estate. You can't file on the dead person. It has to be the dead person estate, even though I'm her mother. So last year, I've been writing since 2023, I believe, on Substack. So Sasha Latapova, I have a lot of followers, and Sasha Latapova introduced me to Graham Bronstein, and Graham Bronstein is an attorney from California. He introduced me to Trisha Lindsay. She is a powerhouse in New York, a civil rights attorney who knows what's going on. And then we have Barry Silberman, co-counsel. So, right, they all have volunteered to do pro bono because New York State has a law from 1847, pretty much, that states if you died in a hospital and you had no income, you have no family to support, you have you're elderly or you're disabled, all they'll pay for is your funeral expenses and your medical bills. So instead of they discharging you with a disability, they will pretty much. So both partisan, Democrat and Republican, have passed the bill, the Family Grievance Act in New York, and 4 times Kathy Hochul has vetoed it up to December 5th, 2025. So if she had not vetoed it, we would have gotten representation for what was done, and she vetoed it. So we're up against a very evil system. As a Christian, the Bible talks about it. My daughter was sacrificed in a hospital. They falsified the medical records to admit her, saying she had COVID pneumonia. She had sepsis with a normal white blood count. She had hypoxia, even though she was breathing on her own, eating, talking, walking to the hospital. 41 days of torture, overdose with fentanyl. Pretty much, they wrote everything they did on the chart. And I went and I hired Ralph Laringo when they got me out of the hospital. Falsified. They told me that I could go take a shower and I could come back in. And as soon as I left 5 days, after I was with her for 5 days, they called and they said I can't come back in without a negative COVID test. So those days that I was out of there, they vented her. She got a heart attack in 2 days because of the pressure of the ventilator and all the high-risk drugs. I mean, they wrote it in the charts. They were pretty much abusing her body in ways that is not medically, it's not normal. COVID did something to these people where they became demons. They were working for the dark side, because you'll take a child with special needs and tie her to the bed when she's crying for her mom, and then inject her and with lorazepam, Presidex, before she even went on a ventilator, and then drop her oxygen level with morphine the morning before they vented her to justify, oh, she need to be vent, she's struggling now. It's just the medical records is the worst anybody have ever seen. We have heard about these cases over and over and over, and everyone who have read Daniel medical records, it's just unbelievable what they did to her. I was able to get an autopsy privately and a toxicology report. Daniel fentanyl level in her body, with how much fentanyl they pumped into her, was almost 5 times the amount of George Floyd. George Floyd was 11 NGs. Daniel was 53 NGs of fentanyl in her system.
Whoa.
Her heart was twice the size. Her brain was twice the size. Her lungs was almost 3 times the size. She almost doubled in weight with all the fluids they were pumping. I mean, and this is a picture of Danielle that Sasha Ladapova painted for me. And that's my daughter. That's how she looks. She looked like a child.
2021, kind of the height of COVID, and your daughter, she had a cough. So you went to the doctor's office first, is that correct? Or you went to the emergency room?
No, my neighbor is he's like a house call doctor, Lucas
Okay.
Valley, Lattingtown. It's very tight-knit community.
Mhm.
And I was actually in that hospital 2 weeks prior because I had a diverticulitis flare-up. So they wanted to swab me, and I said, no, I don't have any symptoms, And then they wanted to admit me, and I said, no. So it was quite normal. And he had called us in because I was getting a lot of pain. And they treated me, and I left. So when she was sick and we treated her at home and she got better, I never heard my daughter cough like that. And she's very healthy and very strong.
Mhm.
So usually she get a cold the last 5 days and she's better. Now, day 7. And I did the most foolish thing you could ever think about. I checked her pulse ox the night before, and it was at 87. I did a plain saline nebulizer, and it went back up to 96. So the next morning we were concerned about the coughing. So I called my neighbor, who is Dr. Allen in the neighborhood, and he said, you know what, I'll call her in, special privileges, so you could stay with her, and we'll get some monoclonal antibodies, because he doesn't have it. It was only administered in the hospital at that time in 2021. So we pretty much went for monoclonal antibodies. But they started her on remdesivir before they even admitted her, before they even had a positive COVID test, suspicion of COVID.
Remdesivir?
Mm-hmm.
We used to have a doctor that said, pronounce it this way, run, death
That
is
is
near.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they can't say they didn't know what they were doing. It's a whole year later that they're giving this drug and seeing people die. There was no justification to give Daniel remdesivir. You're supposed to take a kidney test, a liver test before you give that drug. They did everything that was opposite of what you would do for medical, to treat someone medically. It was, and I don't want to say the word, but people could read between the lines.
Okay. So there was a progression of you took her to the hospital out of an abundance of caution. They gave her the remdesivir. Is that a pretty fair statement?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
They
And
never
then what
got my
happened?
permission. They never got my consent. And I am not only her healthcare proxy, I am her legal court-appointed guardian. I went to court when she turned 18 in New York to become her guardian. So to make sure things like this wouldn't happen, and they disregarded everything.
So the process, they gave her remdesivir, and then what happened next?
Well, she was so healthy. She was still talking and eating. She ate on that afternoon. She ate in the ER. She had chicken parmesan and pasta. And then later on, they took us up to the room. She was still talking and walking. And they said she cannot get off the bed. So that now I know that when you have something like pneumonia, you're supposed to be walking, sitting up. There's an echo.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that. We seem
That's okay.
seems to be coming in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Put up with it.
Yeah, so they pretty much start drugging her without giving me any knowledge. And they had me in fear because they're saying it was COVID pneumonia and my daughter was always healthy. So then they give her something called toximabin, another drug, which is another EAU, emergency drug it's a black box warning drug.
This is day what when they give her this? She was in there 41 days. Which when did they give her this next medication?
Toximabin?
Yeah.
I think 3 days later they give her toximabin, and that is like a drug that causes infection. And they're not telling me anything. I'm thinking they're giving her antibiotics for pneumonia.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just been the medical records are so horrendous. The drug list is just so horrendous. Because she was so healthy, they just kept pushing and pushing. When they told me we were only going to be there for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And after 2 days, I asked her, okay, so what are we doing? When are we going home? Are you going to get a specialist here? And that afternoon, they brought in Fazan Ramanu. And he is called a ventilator maestro in the hospital.
Wait, whoa, hold on a second. You've got remdesivir, and then you've got the next medication, and the next thing you hear, they're going to have to put her on a ventilator.
He tricked me to tell me that, we want to bring her into to the ICU. I'm hearing myself talk, so that's why.
Okay, sorry about that.
We want to bring in the ICU so that we could observe her. Not that Danielle is getting, sick. Oh, he's telling me anything. It's just observe. You put on the ventilator, and I said, no, you're not putting her on the ventilator. That night I got really sick. This was Tuesday night. I had fever and chills. So I asked in the morning, 5 o'clock, when she was sleeping, I says, could you please just let me go home and I'll take a shower and I will come back. And the nurse said yes. But after that, after an hour, they said I can't come back.
Without
unless
a
I have a
test?
negative. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a trick. But my husband was bringing up food, water, clothing for us, and they would bring it up to the ICU. And after I was not allowed, we were not allowed to bring anything. No iPad. There was no communication to her. There was nothing to comfort her. And then they turn around, and that's when they start drugging her and they tied her to the bed. A special needs child crying, who is struggling to breathe because you would hyperventilate. If you're scared, you would hyperventilate.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
they deliberately did this to justify, the money that they would receive. Or Northwell Health now is one of the biggest hospital system we have in New York. After COVID, they were able to buy up more hospitals. Lenox Hill Hospital, Manhasset Community Hospital, and they're expanding into New Jersey and Connecticut now. And this is a non-for-profit.
So they put her in IU, may, so they could monitor her better. Was that the reason they put her in IU?
No. It was very deceptive. They told me it was for observation, making me feel like she would get better care because we were not allowed to leave the room. We were in this locked room with a tiny window on the door. And he said, "Oh, well, we have glass in ICU. We'll be able to see her and observe her." So,
Okay. Dr. Paul, who's with us this morning, says it was always about the money. Having good insurance can kill you.
yes, she had a Cigna PPO, and they billed for $48,000. She also had Medicaid, so we subpoenaed for those Medicaid records.
Wow. Wow. So you after 41, it was 41 days, right, before she passed away?
Oh, well, 41 days of torture. She got acquired hospital infections, central line infection, all these different infections that was growing in her, and they would say, "Don't, no, whole antibiotics. The medical records are horrendous. I mean, they were giving her IV continuously. Then they would say in fentanyl, and then say stat now, inject her, and then they would put a fentanyl patch on her heart. They were giving her continuous Precedex, propofol, 32 days on the ventilator, just watching her, just destroying every organs. I mean, there was no. It's evil because when I was able to come back in and my husband came in and pray, they said, don't pray in the room. It's raising her heart rate. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And he came in, the ventilator maestro came in and told me, "Oh, I have nightmares about your daughter."
You're not the only one.
Yeah.
So you make a decision. How soon did you make the decision that you're going to have to do something here legally, and why?
Well, I have been calling attorneys, and no one want to take. They pretty much tell me there's no money. They slam the phone out. Sorry, we can't take the case. Sorry. Once they know she's special needs and she was killed and it has COVID on the death certificate, there is no attorneys want to take it. So I was up to the last minute calling and asking for people and nothing. So I said I have to do something. I mean, 2 days after they put on a vent, she got a heart attack. And they never told me. When I came back in, I think the 14th or 15th is when one of the doctors said to me, "Oh, COVID damaged the right side of her heart." I mean, the lies, the abuse, I can't believe what people. I just can't believe.
So you went per se. That means you were doing all the legal work, at least what you could to start with, and I tell you what, we're going to take a break. I want to get into the legal aspects and what happened once you decided you're going to take some action, and what the judge tried to say, and um, how you acquired legal assistance outside of yourself. B.J. Edwards Long, Mr. Anderson, this is your last call.
Last call with B.J. Edwards. Real talk about real life.
And we are back with Rebecca Charles, whose daughter passed away, only daughter passed away in the hospital after 41 days of treatment. You can decide what kind that was. Um, it's just, Rebecca, you decided you're going to take on the legal system. The legal system doesn't cater to, per se, if you will. They don't particularly care for that.
No, and I think by I put it into court, and the nurse helped me read the records. So she picked out every one of the doctors, nurses, PAs that was involved in my daughter's demise and her death. So I sued 44 of them. I listed all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I listed everything that I could list there. And they started fighting me because Northwell Health had one of the largest law firms for medical malpractice in New York. So they would just send him the motions, and I don't have an attorney. I cannot work in New York as an attorney. I wrote the judge and I said, could you please give me 90 days to find an attorney so they would get off my back. And 90 days later, I couldn't get an attorney. Even though I found my case, so my case is in court, no attorneys want to take it because they don't have money. Unless I could have come up with $500,000, the attorneys would take it. And that's the freedom fighters too. They didn't want to take it.
Well. No, I'm going to bring Norm in. Norm, any comments at this point?
Well, yeah, I don't look forward to Judgment Day meeting the Lord with some of the things I've done. I'm going to tell you, these people that I believe the medical profession killed millions of people just like this, and their judgment is going to be so harsh, and they're going to pay for their sins forever and ever. And it's so sad that they did that. And I know, I think is it the FDA that was promoting some of these drugs? And I believe the proof showed that many of them had a financial interest in that remdesivir and some of the drugs that they were using. And that's why they were pushing them, and the drugs that would work, they wouldn't allow you to get. So I just hate that you had to go through this and lose your daughter. Again, what she went through was horrendous.
It's very hard.
Sure.
Can't even imagine. Betty, any comments?
Betty's muted.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, Betty, you're muted. So when you got the legal assistance, how many days? You said 90 days. You hadn't had legal assistance. When did you get the legal assistance?
Well, now the judge, because I don't have attorneys, the judge dismissed the majority of them, including the hospital. So we had 3 doctors. Well, we had 5 people who didn't have representation. So because they never answered to the complaint, now they, by law, they have to go to depositions now. So now I'm back in New York again, and they're saying I have to schedule depositions. And I'm like, how am I going to schedule depositions? And this was in March of last year. And I believe May of last year is when we spoke with the attorneys Graham, Trisha, and they decided to accept the case because they know what's happening and they want to stop it. And they want to expose it.
This is in when?
Around May of 2025.
Oh, wow. So you filed the initial action when?
April 5th, 2024.
Okay. Okay. So how have things changed since you've got the lawyers now?
Well, the lawyers are seeing the discrepancy with the court system in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a lot of hurdles with that. But right now we're moving. We started depositions on June 8th. I had 2 days of deposition. We had 2 days of the infectious disease control doctor, and we have 1 day of the other COVID one of the main ones who damaged my daughter, Saeed Iqbal. And he's coming back in for his second day of deposition on August 21st. So we have a very strong case. The fact patterns of the case is very strong. Willful misconduct is like beyond willful misconduct. And it's hard to read the records because I have to keep going back in to find things because I'm like the researcher, I'm like the paralegal. They're not getting paid for this. They are helping me, so I have to carry the burden, the most of the burden. Yeah, by going into these records.
Wow, wow. Dr. Paul, I'm going to try to bring you in. I don't know whether you can get the echo. Are you doing okay?
Yeah, I don't want to get frustrated here, but she knows as well as I that a hospital's a closed system, and the kind of stuff that occurs behind those closed doors. If you're a doctor or a nurse that said something, you're gone. Right? I mean, this is what happened. And 25, 30 years ago, I was in kind of early on in my career. I took care of patients inside the hospital, and they were the same patients I had as outside the hospital. And I would have them from birth to death. And that's why it works this way now. You got these careless doctors in the hospitalist, and they don't care. They just don't care. They just follow protocol. The dumbest people in the world. I'll admit I'd thrown a couple of those. When I was involved in a lawsuit for one of my patients, 2 weeks later I was fired from my job.
All right.
So you're not going to have a lot of doctors that are going to go against an awful lot of doctors, unless you got somebody like me. And I don't have any credibility because I've been shot and thrown in jail, and that's how they get you.
Yeah,
They destroy your credibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll find a way. They'll find a way.
And I'm a Christian, and I struggled for a long time asking God, why you allow this? You could have stopped the car.
I know.
People all over the world was praying for Danielle because we supported so many ministries, and it was the hardest thing I ever had to face, that she was dying, and they didn't tell me. The morning, the 41st day morning, they called me early to say it doesn't look good, when they already knew what they were doing. It just the records are so horrific that people, the nurse who read it, she had nightmares and she was crying. She couldn't handle it.
So when this is going on and she's on the vent, I'm getting calls from lawyers all over the country to send them a prescription for ivermectin. Okay. And some of them managed to slip it into the patients and they did better. But that's the thing. Remdesivir can't happen if ivermectin works. And so that was a big lie in the major journals, right? So, I mean, I think your persistence is going to pan out, but, God bless you. It broke my heart.
I got a court order for ivermectin when they locked me out, and they didn't like that.
Yeah.
And the judge said, administer immediately. And it was every time I call, it's in the legal department. So Danielle got 3 days of ivermectin. Yeah. It's in the legal department. She got 3 days of ivermectin, and the Monday I came back in, they said, I have to stop the ivermectin because it's raising her liver enzymes. Not the propofol, not the Presidex, not the remdesivir. It's the ivermectin that raising the liver enzymes.
You should comb in on that one because that's one big lie.
Yes, I know. And I said that there. I said it's a remdesivir, and they all were silent. But the medical records show they stopped the court order on the 12th. I came in on the 13th and they made me sign it. So they had already stopped a legal court order by a judge. These people did not care what they were doing. They know they were protected and they know they could get away with anything. And I am
they have a lot of lawyers.
I'm not going to back down. I'm not afraid. I have God on my side. And you know what? God told me one morning,
I love it.
If I could do a better job than him, and I had to surrender all my intentions, what I was planning. God said to me, and I said, I can't. So it's his daughter, and it's his case. And God is bringing in people that I never, ever dreamed of.
Do you have access to the data bank? Where the doctors who, well, you probably don't know it even exists. Well, doctors kill enough patients, they get reported to a data bank. National Practitioners Data Bank.
Yeah, I don't have that, but I built a website. It's gonna be in the Apple stores, an app. It's called Check MD First. And the goal of that is to show every doctor or hospital that have lawsuits against them or malpractice cases against them.
Because well, that's the National Practitioners Database. That's right. And it's a hidden secret. And why it's used, the National Practitioners Database. Okay, and so anytime you want to discipline a doctor, you just report them there and it ruins their career. But if you want to protect the hospital and you got a doctor that just killed 5 patients in surgery, you report them to the data bank, but keep them employed. Because it's all about the money. It's an evil system.
And I think it's because people keep trusting, and my case will really expose how evil these hospitals and doctors are. They need to be kicked off their pedestal. They think they're God and they can't keep doing this. They need to be kicked off.
I prefer choking them.
No.
I could say certain things that I can't. I'm right there with you. I think we should bring in, I mean, it's going to be a point where it's going to be town square hangings just now because people are finding out the truth of these doctors and hospitals.
Yeah.
Amen. It's there's money involved here, there's pride involved here, and there's job security involved here. Those are some pretty powerful enemies. And if let's say when you're successful, I'm going to say when you're successful, you may open up some doors that are going to scare some people to death, if you will.
No, I already wrote a bill. My bill, I'm just waiting for the right legislator to bring it in. That bill is going to open up, extend the statute of limitations for COVID patients that died. We need justice not only for Daniel, but for every person that was lied to and was murdered in a hospital. And every single state need that. They just had the Varus Law Group just sent letters listing every single crime, every single code to all the governors in each state. And I will email that to you.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Putting
Paul,
them on notice.
You mentioned a national practice data bank. How does somebody access that?
You can't.
You can't. Well, how do you report a doctor?
It's the internal system. I have a whole list. Okay, so hospitals can do it. Medical groups can do it. Medical boards know all about it. That's the other thing. You should report that some of those scumbags to the medical board. But you'll
The
find that
medical
they're
board
in
is
on it.
doing nothing. The medical boards, they're all bored.
They're in on it. They're in on it.
Yeah, but they have more of us than them. And New York,
Yeah.
when New Yorkers really learn what they did to Danielle, New Yorkers are gonna rise up. They're gonna rise up.
Yeah.
I know that.
A lot of people aren't aware of what they've just been through.
Well,
when it came to COVID, they weren't aware. And issues like this, you taking the issue to where it needs to be taken to, is going to bring some awareness to some folks that didn't normally or wouldn't normally understand that there was a problem. They accept well, COVID killed them. It wasn't remdesivir. It wasn't the vax. COVID killed them. I know of a lady early on, and this is around 2021, had twins. And the one twin got the vax, the other one didn't. And the one that got the vax was permanently disabled because of it. Norm, go ahead, please.
Well, I want to pose a question. Since healthcare was to be a ministry of the church, and our original hospitals were started by churches, but then they turned it over to big corporations, how much is God going to hold the church accountable for some of this?
We trusted man instead of God. I'm 100% with you.
Amen. That's a good point, because it did start. Healthcare did start with the church.
Well, healthcare was the ministry of the church, and so was feeding the poor. But we turned food stamps over to the government, and we turned healthcare over to big corporations. Yeah, the church. I think God's going to hold the church accountable for some of this.
I hate to say the church was part of it, because the church also took money to give vaccines.
That's true. I
Big
forgot about
part
that.
of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And not hold services.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We'll give you this if you don't bring people in and talk to them about the Lord. Yeah, I remember that. Matter of fact, we chose the church because they didn't do that. They didn't take the money. They kept open.
Yeah.
And those are the kind that you're looking for. That's a great point, Norm. Very great point, and something that maybe it'll help Rebecca in terms of, well, prayer, but in practice and action. I like that. I like that being introduced. Good point. We've I've sure learned a lot about the medical community over the past 5 years. An awful lot about it. And I can remember going into my doctor, and he asked me recommended that I take a COVID shot, vax, and I'm going, nah, I don't think so. And I said, are you going to get one? He says, yeah, I already got one. I said, okay, I'm going to my lab rat. I'll see how it works out for you. I don't think he liked that. I'm not sure, but I don't think he liked that. So anyway, that's I didn't get it, and I'm glad I didn't get it. I'm concerned about the loved ones that did. I still don't know. I've not done the research. I know there's people that follow it. That there are things springing up. Our guest earlier in the day mentioned the turbo cancer that's happening out there, and there's just a lot of things. Maybe arthritis. Maybe the lung. I don't know. how it accentuated things. And there's also a new flu vaccine that's mRNA, the newest, the latest, and greatest. And I think there's an issue with mRNA. Doc, you got any comments on the mRNA issue?
Let me just comment on vaccines.
Okay.
Now, you got 25 substances and you're putting it under your skin and you don't know what each one does. You're an idiot. And as far as mRNA, when you're changing somebody's genetics, you're an idiot. And they're giving it to dogs now too. Rabies shots, mRNA. They're destined to kill all of us. I've never seen a vaccine work. I've seen it make people sick. And I was in the military. I got a few. So, yeah, everything autoimmune is caused by vaccines. Remember autism, right? Sudden infant death. Come on. I mean, how stupid do we have to be? And by the way, pediatricians are the worst because they make money hands over fist, jamming those things in little babies.
Yeah.
The most despicable people I know. But that's just me.
No, well, you look at a pediatrician, the child is normal. Then you give the child a vaccine, you see the child suddenly spinning, not talking, and then you open up your office tomorrow and do the same thing over and over. I can't understand this. Where's humanity? Is money that powerful that you would destroy lives?
Yep.
So Senator Ron Johnson is having a hearing on September 28th in the Russell Senate building. He's going to have 24 testimonies. He's going to pick 24 testimonies. So anyone in your, I will email you the link to go online and add your case. A COVID death. This one is not for vaccines, so the hospital protocol deaths. And he's given us the opportunity to speak.
You're going to be speaking?
I'm not sure who he's going to pick us yet, but he wants, he wants everyone to give us the information, and the most egregious cases is the one he's going to pick.
And folks, as you're listening to this, understand this. This could just be an attempt to let a little air out of the balloon, take a little pressure off of things. You need to be careful about this, because if you get that out there and you get those emotions released, you don't expect anything to happen. You look at that as a starting point, not as an ending point. And there's going to be people out there that want to make this an ending point. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I talk to people about the natural family and about how important it is, and I agree, but then nothing happens. And that unfortunately, that's where we are. I use the term all the time. We're an Uber nation. We expect everything to be done for us, even before we ask to have it done. And that's why we run into the problems we have to quote on trust science, right?
Yeah.
Trust the people that are going to do things for you. Well, where's that gotten us? Look, a lot of this is in self. You need to take the responsibility and accountability in yourself first. And church, we're talking to you as well. You can help out. Okay, you don't need to be going to Haiti necessarily just to Haiti. There's need in the United States, a big need for witnessing, if you will. Sorry, I'm going to put my.
So like one of the churches we support in New York, when before this happened, we were helping build churches in Pakistan, India, bakery in Venezuela. And now I'm asking you for help to raise money for my daughter Casey in America, and you're still sending me stuff from other countries. And I had to tell the pastor, I said, listen, we have issues here in America. They're killing Americans. And I need help here in America. I don't need to send money outside. Let's fix the problems here in America. But the churches want to fix problems outside, and they don't want to take care of the people in America. And that's wrong. We have starving children in America. I don't
Sure.
understand it.
I don't understand it. I don't want to keep you over. I promised you a half an hour, and we're a little beyond that. I appreciate you taking the time. How can we help you?
Okay, there is. I just texted you the link. Give, Send, Go, Justice for Danielle. And then we also have Free Now Foundation. There's a link there in the website for Danielle case. So for people who give in tax-free, they want a tax-free write-off, they go through Free Now Foundation, and then the other link is Give, Send, Go.
What was that? The first one? Free.
Give, Send, Go, and then next one is Free Now Foundation in California.
Free Now Foundation.
Yeah. I texted you
FreeNowFoundation.com.
the website. You could put it up.
Okay.
And in that website, at the bottom, you'll see the donation.
Okay. Don't have it yet.
I
Maybe
texted
we can
it
get
to
this
you.
put in. Okay. I've got the Justice for
Yes, that's it. That's it. In there.
SweetDanielle.com.
And I wrote that song for Danielle. Because
Justice
they damaged her
for
at
FOR.
birth. And then
Say
they
again,
killed her
please?
the next time she went back in.
www.justiceforsweetDanielle.com. JusticeForSweetDanielle.com.
And she was very sweet. She loved everybody.
Wow. So much to recover here. But again, I appreciate you taking the opportunity, and I know this has not been easy. None of this has been easy. And
No,
there's
it's 5
times
years.
Yeah, there's time that you're going, where is everybody? Is it just me?
Yeah.
Am I the only one that cares here? And
Yeah.
those moments are the worst. They are the absolute worst. And then
Because
the frustrations.
I don't have any more children. And I'm not doing this just for Danielle. I can't go to bed at night and be silent knowing what's happening in the hospitals. I can't.
Amen.
I have to
Amen.
let people know what's happening. So I'm hoping to God that my case, we would get the funding we need for the experts. And Dr. Paul, if you would give me your email, I could contact
I'll
you.
get that to you. I'll get that
Thank
to
you. And you know, we just need to save lives. That's Danielle, you know. She was telling the doctors and nurses, I love you, I love you, I love you. And she fed the elderly in Sunrise Assisted Living twice a week for almost 8 years. I can't look at the pictures.
Yeah. We are going to let you go. Thank you very much for
Thank
the
you.
time today. Wishing you the best. Folks you can pray for. That's
Yes,
definitely a good
yes.
starting point.
Yes.
Good foundation. Good foundation.
Thank you so much.
All right, Danielle. God bless you. Godspeed.
Sure.
Wow. Thanks, Doc. I appreciate you. Norm, I appreciate you too. I apologize for the technical issues. I have no idea what's causing that. But I hope we got our point across that, listen, the U in USA means you. Not those that are trying to make money out of this or that, or trying to get their way, or working through their pride. The only way that we're going to turn this nation around is with you. And it starts in the family, folks. Children learn authority in the family. They learn right and wrong. Then they go, hopefully you got them in a church, because that's going to get reinforced there. It'll help you determine what's right and wrong. But you got to have leadership in the family. You got to have leadership in the church. And you got to have leadership in this country. And when you talk about leadership, I'm not talking about you've come a long way, baby. We need Ephesians 5 type leadership. And that's God, Jesus Christ, man, woman, children, and that is a vertical relationship. And we are all serving. Men need to lead, and I don't mean with a club or by yelling or demanding. You need to lead. You can say anything you want to your children. They see you. They see what you do. They're going to mimic that. You got sons, you need to show them what leadership means. Daughters, you need to show them what leadership is, what serving is, what following is. The Bible is an incredible instruction manual. It's just the instruction manual. Your triptych out of here into a better world is knowing that, but also practicing that. Words mean things in the Bible, and actions are the telltale sign. Norm, anything you want to follow up on that with?
Well, you're right. I mean, the family's the base from which everything flows out of. And that's, I always go back to Deuteronomy chapter 6, teach these things to your kids when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, when you rise up. It's a 24/7 process.
Mm-hmm. I can remember. Go ahead.
We failed to, we failed to teach our kids the relationship that God wanted with His people, and that's why Hosea 4:6, "My people perish from the lack of knowledge, because they rejected knowledge."
And for those of you that want to criticize the Bible, I have exercise for you. I tried it once. It's dangerous. I mean, it's very dangerous. But if you don't like it, you don't believe in it, try to prove it wrong. Prove it wrong. There's things in there you're not going to understand. I get it. But you're going to learn an awful lot by challenging the truth. You're going to learn how to defend it because you have tried to challenge it. And I was thinking when I was talking, I was thinking about when COVID was around, and I remember I wouldn't wear a mask. I got that, but I wore gloves. Okay, I wore gloves to start with, and then I'm going, well, wait a minute, let's take the gloves off and see what happens. Nothing happened, but there was still a bunch of people running around with the mask on. As a matter of fact, most people. And I can remember going into a local Meijer without my mask, cut a little bit of flack, but they allowed me not to wear a mask. And what I did is I went to the counter and I got gift certificates to Meijer. I think they were $10 or $15, something like that. And I would walk around Meijer about every day. You know what I was looking for? I was looking for people without masks. And what did I do? I'd go up to them and I'd say, I noticed that you're not wearing a mask today. It's good to see your face. And they would kind of, sheepishly grin, am I from the police? Am I going to arrest them? Right? One guy apologized to me. Left it here, left it there. But the ones that didn't apologize and the ones that didn't wear a mask got that Meijer gift certificate. It's called doing, folks. We need a lot more of it. So we have less Danielles and less Rebecca Charles and less other people that have been damaged by a system that we just accept and we refuse to, buck the system. This starts in the family. There's a lot of division in the family. We'll probably get into that in shows pretty soon. There's division in the church, and there's obviously division in this nation. And you want to find something that you can agree on with the opposition. I get on Nextdoor a lot when they let me on there. Conservatives don't really get a whole lot of slack. But somebody posted on there, imagine if even half the money spent on are you sick of political advertising? We're not even in November yet, or the end of October. Yet we're getting bombarded. Negatives here, negatives there, negatives here, negatives there. No wonder we hire the lesser of the evils, right? At least we think we are. Somebody made this note on Nextdoor, and I loved it. Imagine if even half the money spent on political advertising went to charitable causes. I loved the post. I loved it. As a matter of fact, my response was, I like the idea. How about a challenge? You want something this week? Contact your favorite politician or one you don't like and have them consider pledging half of their donations to charity. And then call the news media, same suggestion, and then let's see what happens. I love taking positives against all the negativity that's out there, and there's a ton of it. It's never going to be easy, but the learning that you're going to get from trying to do the right thing, and maybe number one is accomplishing the right thing. That doesn't always happen, but you do learn something about yourself and those around you. Start in the family. Don't try to start in Washington, D.C. Do not try to start there. Don't even try to start at your state level. Go to the local level where you can be eye to eye to those individuals. Folks, if you see a need, that's your calling. And if you can't see needs in America today, God help you. Start in the family, then move outside to the neighborhood. Go to the neighbors, and then to your local authorities. Attend those school board meetings. Excuse me, attend those city council meetings. The only thing missing is the U in USA. And the U is not Uber, okay? The U is not for Uber. It's for you. Yeah, send Uber down to a city council meeting. Oh, Uber, could you send somebody over to the school board meeting tonight, please? I can't make it. Thank you. Let somebody else do it. A lot of pain out there, folks. But you can help. I appreciate our guests today. I appreciate the panelists who have helped out, especially Dr. Paul. Folks, get in the game. Get in the game. Because if you don't go out there, it's going to come into your home. It's already in your home because you haven't gone out there. There are other people out there that are looking for you and need your help. Again, thanks for visiting us today. Hope to see you next week. B.J. Edwards along Mr. Anderson. This has been your last call. Let's get us out of here, Mr. Anderson. And thank you again for all listening today.
Join us next week for Last Call with B.J. Edwards.